Welcome to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over? We are on episode 29, and in the last episode we saw the formation of this new country, Jade Green, together with Baby Blue here in Africa. We also saw that Lavender got the island where Purple and Blue, Dark Blue, once had territories. And because of that they now can have a bigger much influence on Olive. But of course the main thing that happened, that was Mint that got destroyed. Lavender together with Red did a great operation against their enemy. But they also gained another world destroyer, Slate. But let's see how episode 29 is going to evolve this world. The very first thing that happens is that Dark Cyan joins the Square Alliance, as they are still very scared for other countries to, well, infiltrate their territory. And this alliance is of course the biggest alliance right now in terms of members, but slowly and surely others will eventually join this pact, as we see another country join this alliance. Because Reddish Pink joined the alliance, and we slowly see an alliance creeping into Europe with, well, newer countries than their original counterparts. And bigger countries such as Green and Magenta are slowly watching what's happening, and they have a keen eye on it. Also, in between episode, I established the military bases layer. It's a really small layer, and we have to zoom in quite a bit to see the dots on the map, the red dots on the map, as they are not really relevant that much for the series, but interesting to take a look at when we have to. And we see, of course, in red there are darker dots, so it's clearly to see if we zoom in. And the last thing that changed in between episodes is that the trade routes layer, well, moved to white instead of black to not really interfere with if we have the provinces layer on. But an interesting fact is that Red did something cruel. They destroyed every blue military base right here in Spain, as they just completely, well, destroyed everything. They burned everything to the ground. They were harsh towards their blue enemy. But Red is not so harsh for something else, as they will do one of the best things they have ever done so far. The first good deed that Red will do for this world, for an outsider view, is that they will release and free the country Yellow, but give it the original blue territory alongside. Yellow gets a new government, but ruled by Red, as Red sees an opportunity to grow their empire in a different direction as just purely their own land. The capital will be set right there where it once was, and Yellow is back and ruled with a keen eye by Red. But when the Diamond Alliance got the information that Yellow returned because of the world destroyers, they were really questioning what Red was going to do. Furthermore, they were scared for an invasion that then next they were on the doorstep for the world destroyers. They also thought, well, maybe Red is firstly going to attack the weaker African countries. But they were a little bit wrong, as the world destroyers was going to do something else first. Mainly Lavender was going to do something very cruel, as they were finally ready for something the world is very against. There is a large campaign where Lavender does genocide for the other religions inside their borders. Everyone still from the older countries that lived here, mainly Purple, who still follow the Blue Religion, are wiped out. They are not allowed, they are completely killed or sent to somewhere they will never be found again. Lavender is really successful, and many people just flee in different countries where they still can. The African continent is also ready and busy to do this campaign, as many settlements are, so to speak, freed from this religion. They go up to the Olive's border and they wipe out every part of this religion. and the campaign continues a little bit more in this side of Lavender. And the island, it's also gone. But slowly and surely this religion will be wiped out inside Lavender. Red of course helped with this operation to bring as much people for this operation to kill or send people away with the Blue Religion. But now that they are done with that operation, there are many people who are going to set foot into the Sahara Desert to find new land. Well, land is easy to find, but what is useful is not really important to the Red King, as he just wants as much as what he can grab. But he is of course not the only one in Africa that is going to expand, as all these countries on your screen are going to expand, roughly at the same time. But we will first take a look at Red, because Red blocks Dark Magenta even more with an expedition to their south. There was also a big campaign to their south and connected much land together. It's not done yet because they claim even more and more, and now this part is up to their grabs. They go this far and this quickly that they have made up, that they meet with Baby Blue. They were unable to get this because Dark Yellow got the rest. And Baby Blue is also going to expand. They are a fairly new country, but they are able to venture inside the barren wastelands and the, well, sort of forest they also find. They gain much land, but are not really keen on getting even more land. They gain where they want to gain, but don't where they don't want. And Baby Blue is at their maximum for now. Even Dark Green is going to be on an expedition to the north. They meet up more with Baby Blue, but they go even more north. But for now, that's it, in the north, as they really want to gain a little bit more land to their south. And that's what they do. After a long time that they didn't expand, Beige is also going to. They're going back to their old trace of their ancestors, where they originated from green, dark green. They thicken their border on this side of the lake, and a little bit more in the south. And in the north they try to expand more, but that's sort of failed. Lavender stays put where they are. They don't expand. The last two countries where we'll take a look at are these two. Dark Magenta is furious and, well, gives Red their payment back. They go around Red yet again. But they go far and they thicken what they get. They go a little more south, connect this up, but that's what's it for their country. And now Rosewood. They had a big campaign, and they had much more land added to their land size. The countries now in Africa are becoming very big, much bigger than in Europe, but also these countries are more wastelands, with not maybe less people, as maybe a country such as Pink has less population than Rosewood. It's still a thriving community here in the south. But back to Beige. As Beige, of course, had a translator that overheard a lot of stuff that went to the Reds. That, well, Red and Lavender are together as a couple, but now with a trio because of Slade. Beige slips the news to Dark Green, and slowly and surely the whole news spreads to whole Europe, and the world knows what Lavender and Red are doing together. Lavender has a part of Madagascar. Dark Blue gets the knowledge and gets furious, but what can they do? They are forgotten and small. But their anger is getting much more heating up than what it was before. The world eventually figures out that the World Destroyer Alliance is a thing. And that they think two countries are involved, Red and Lavender. They don't know really much about Slade at all. Slade is just a very unknown country compared to the rest. Only Red has more information together with Lavender than all the others. And because of that information getting spread into Europe, the countries inside of this continent are getting worried. of an attack from the two, well, major powers. They all know that red and lavender are major. From sea green up until purple, they all know that lavender or red can jump to something which no one is prepared for. Counties are desperate to find help or to seek protection when they have to. And because of that, a familiar face is coming back. The Shield Pact is back, and Cyan is the one to make this happen. As slowly and surely other countries are going to join it, such as green, orange, pink, dark pink. All these countries join this alliance. The northern two countries such as gray and gold are not interested, as they don't see red or lavender as a threat, as they never really saw them as a threat before. The only moment when red and gold were standing face to face was right here, roughly, and here in, well, Canada. They don't see them as a threat. But there are a few more countries who join the Shield Pact. Purple also joins this alliance, together with Pastel Orange and Neon Lime. All these countries are now in an alliance, and there are many alliances in the world. Countries in Africa are not interested in joining any alliance, as mainly these three know what it can do. Nothing. That the Southern Pact was their alliance here in the south, nothing was there to grab, nothing was there in their favor, it was just a name for them. Red eventually knows what happened, that the Shield Pact returned, and they know that they are not going to attack the Europeans easy now. But they do know about something that Orange also knows. Brown and Magenta. They still are in the alliance, the Diamond Alliance. They are not interested in joining the Shield Pact. Well, Brown isn't. As well, of course, Orange wouldn't allow it. Although, Magenta got the offer to join the Shield Pact back. But they don't, as they see Brown more as an ally, as they are strong, but not so much anymore, but they are more of an ally than the rest is, as these two countries together brought Dark Red down. So the alliances in the world are getting really mixed up. The Square Alliance doesn't really bother about the two World Destroyers without knowing there is a third. They just are scared now of, well, the Shield Pact. And there was one country wanting to join it as well, the Shield Pact. Dark Blue. But all the countries that are in the alliance did not want that. But one country wanted it, and that was Purple, of course. They are still in a very good relationship with one another. But a country that isn't really joining this alliance, but don't want them to join it, is Night Blue. So much is happening. But another move is going to set in motion by the two World Destroyers. Slate now as well, as these three powers in the world are going to attack a country or a part of it that doesn't really stand a chance. Olive. There are many troops from Red and Slate coming into Lavender Africa, and they all are going to set alongside the border of Olive. And one night that Olive is not assuming anything, Lavender attacks Olive, and they are able to get a settlement. They are sweeping across the country, and they are getting another one. The front is spanning from almost north to south, or more like east to west. The troops gain another settlement, and then Olive wakes up. Finally. But they are very weak. They are not able to fight back that much. They are able to break this front apart, and they are able to have a breakthrough to multiple settlements. But Lavender kills them all in a matter of a couple of days now. Olive is able to hold them off quite a bit. But then Olive gets another front that they sort of didn't saw coming. The island sent forces towards her capital. And fairly quickly, not many troops or even anyone is able to fight here in the north against the Lavender, Slates and Reds, and the capital is captured by the World Destroyers. And also Lavender forces are going inside the country in the north with a very small border. And they are attacking from every side now. The northern part of Olive is, well, disconnected for any communication and gets wiped out. And now it's just a matter of days, a week maximum, before Olive is gone. But then another front opens against Lavender that no one saw coming. Night Blue lands their navy on the, well, most upper part of Lavender. They capture a settlement and they wipe everyone out. For some reason, Night Blue attacked Lavender out of nowhere. The whole front is killed by Night Blue. But there's not a naval or a landing here in Africa. There's none. Weirdly enough, Night Blue doesn't attack Lavender after that anymore. Lavender is hesitated to attack back. But then they know and see from afar that Night Blue is attacking Olive. They are getting the settlements that, well, Lavender wanted to have. They sweep across the country. It's very easy for them. And then Olive in the north is barely anything. And then they surrender over to Night Blue. And then they have an attack on mainland Olive. They capture a major settlement. And Olive is just up for grabs. But Lavender knows this. So also they are getting much land out of it. They want as much as possible before Night Blue does it. And then they come across the Night Blue forces. They go inside their territory that they claimed. But then everyone is going away. They are fleeing. And they think it's because Lavender is the strongest country in the world and everyone fears them. But that's not the reason. As Peanut Brown is attacking the claims of Night Blue. Multiple parts of it, even. Peanut Brown sees an opportunity to gain land. That's theirs. They wanted to have these lower parts. But Olive claimed it before, well, this country even got established. They gain as much settlements. And they break these two fronts apart. The most eastern one lost. And Peanut Brown just wants more land out of it. And after a week of holding on, Olive surrenders over to, well, the rest of Olive surrenders over to Olive. But then Lavender just lets the north deal with itself, as they see something boiling that was about to happen eventually. Night Blue opens a front against Peanut Brown, as they see a major war coming up.